piece of the hero.
It's like a little wrapper about yay big.
Yeah. I pulled it off. You know when you're supposed to pull that thing off? It came off without the thing coming off.
Oh,
and I had to peel it off.
Did it get all over you?
I stick my hand all the way down in the mustard. So if anybody's having the mustard, stuck my hand in there. After I left the bathroom. But anyway, it's another story.
Well, while you're up, you could have got us a couple drinks while you're up there.
I wasn't going to wait online. Thought we had him coming.
Online. You're Paul
Gene
Suss
Perry's the head of FASD. He can't get us a couple drinks?
You are Paul Suss guy.
FASD has to have at least the card, right?
Yeah.
FASD got the card?
Vodka Club, Splash of Cranberry. Just ask for Uncle Billy. Robbie knows what it is.
Yeah, please. And so, and a glass of ice.
You might as well bring 3 each for us, so we don't run up.
Was that silent?
Robbie doesn't know what
was that?
Uncle Billy is. He should know.
What was that?
All right, now that we got the
We're
things
getting
out of
close.
the way.
We're getting close to the Derby
All
here.
right, let's get started here.
20 minutes out on the Derby.
Talk some racing here now.
Yeah, let's talk some racing. Till the Derby, then we'll watch that, and then we'll come back.
All right, so we'll go by the we'll use the last year's.
Yeah,
schedule, I guess.
we'll skip around a little bit. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you heard anything about Riverhead? I know I think they got Swayze, right? They got a couple of guys out there, but I don't know what their story is overall. They're out there running. I haven't heard anything. How about you?
Nah, nothing new about them. Had a senior fireman pass away there. That's the only thing I know about them, and rest in peace out there. But Riverhead, they've been trying the last couple of years. They've been getting out there.
You think about Riverhead, right? The history that Riverhead has and the size of their fire department. I think it's one of the biggest districts in all of. That's
one of the biggest districts in
yeah, please.
Suffolk,
One of the
Long
big,
Island.
yeah, no, I think in New York State it's one of the biggest ones, right? And you think they could, put together, a team. The tough part, and it's not just for Riverhead, it's for everybody. The tough part is keeping it together, right? How do you keep it together? The Iron Man himself, Mike Argenti, I don't think he's racing, right? When did you think the day would come?
Every year.
Oh, yeah?
He's always there. We always see him.
You think he's going to race? I don't know.
Well, I don't think the Iron Man's put the armor away. Let's put it that way.
All right. Scrape him off the ground one more time.
I mean, they still got, I just.
So you said earlier that Farmingville was out. So let's you got a little prospectus on the Farmingville Bandits. I know they've had a couple of shortcomings last couple of years. Things changing, things going on. They were a top 5 team going back to last time we were in main transit.
They had a great day.
So
that was a day of his life for LBB Steve Sammy.
What's going on with the Bandits? Have you heard? Have they been out practicing? You said.
Yeah, I talked to LBB. He says they got a couple new players they're going to be working in throughout the season. And obviously last year they got up to a slow start. Some things were going on over there, but they got the year together, got it going, and they figured it out.
Look at the track. It looks like the track. It looks like a lake.
If you were looking at the reels, they had a nice shot of them running B-hose at the Hagerman Labor Day tournament. So pretty, it's good to see them back out there. I mean, they still haven't missed anything, but.
Who, Farmville?
They missed a couple drills early, but they got out there.
No, I like you said, I think they're going to be out there. Can they be a top 5 maybe in Suffolk County? I mean, I think that's borderline at this point. I think they still have some growing to do if you're going to put new guys in there, as everybody would. I don't know, but if you don't go out there and keep it going every week, then how do you grow, right? So looking forward to seeing them out there every week. Next up, what about Hicksville Hicks? Heard anything about them? I thought they didn't run a lot last year, right? What's the Hicks story?
Nothing new on the Hicks just yet. I guess I put a couple feelers out there. Only a few teams got back to me, but Hicksville, right next to us, they've always been about the same. They get there 10, 11, 12 guys, a couple old timers, and they help out to run buckets. And
you think
just keep
you're right. It's a manpower issue again. You think about the Hicks and the classic that they have been around for God knows how long, right?
Well, the thing is, too, you look at these departments, Hicksville. These are big departments. They got hundreds of members here, and just when we got to connect to these kids somehow. I think parade would be a good way to get them back into it.
Maybe it could be. The commitment is big, right? If you want to make the improvement, the commitment is big. So that's could be an issue as well. But hopefully we'll see Hicksville out there. And then you got North Babylon.
Hicksville came in last year for the Big Six for Nassau County. They didn't miss any of those tournaments, so they get after it.
North Babylon be next on the list. I know they lost a couple guys when moved over to Bay Shore.
Yeah, they merged.
I don't know if North Babylon's going to actually make it out to the track this year, right? They had combined with Deer Park.
And then so a rumor on the street is They lost a couple fellas to
Bayshore.
Bayshore.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, so what is their scenario with still Deer Park? I haven't heard. I didn't hear a letter came in that they were combining.
I don't know what their story is.
So North Bath might be a team that falls a little by the wayside this year. How about Selden? I know Selden struggled last year, right?
They ran in a couple tournaments.
They lost some guys. And I mean, it's a manpower thing, right? But hopefully, they came out at the end of the year and they ran those, I believe, last 3 contests.
They're the first team to reach out to us as a drill team media crew and ask to put a feeler out. Rich Cardi says, anyone wants to merge with us, let us know. I mean,
yeah. So that's a good point, actually. If people are out there and they're looking to merge with somebody, and
Yeah, these teams that we're talking about right now. If you're out in Suffolk County, you got these Deer Parks, North Bath ones, these Seldens. These guys could use some bodies. If you have any interest in your firehouse, talk to your commissioners, talk to your people. If they would, you get a couple bodies, you get a couple 3 teams together. You do like Southampton does, like Belmore does. You got 3 or 4 departments in on these things. Manhasset, Port Washington, Albertson, same thing.
No doubt about it.
It's important.
How about Kopek? Kopek is always one of those fringe teams, right? Kopek is always on the verge. Are they going to be top 5, not top 5? The county drill, Suffolk County overall, state tournament, you never count them out, right? It seems like every year they bring like a 3-man shot. But can they score beyond that?
I looked at them last year. They even state drill, they score in B and C ladder.
Mm-hmm.
They had a decent-looking shot in 3-man, but someone didn't turn the lights on. But But yeah, Kopek, Chris Brandt's back. I tell you, Mike Patchogue, I thought he had a really, really good year on the hydrant for them. Did a nice job. He looked better and better as the year went on. Got a lot more comfortable with Charlie bringing them in. He was hitting 2.5 with everyone else in the state at the end of the year, and Weller up top putting the water on the target. Their C hose was just as good as anybody's in the state, and B hose not so much.
Okay. And then we go to East Islip. We're here at the home of Fatties, and right here in the heart of East Islip. The East Islip Guzzlers, this is the hometown bar for them, and I think that they might be struggling as well.
No ladders last year at all.
That's hard.
That always kills me.
Think about how difficult it is to go to a drill and you're not going to run in ladders, especially. I mean, today the drills are a little bit smaller. You don't have as many teams, but back in the day, if you didn't have a ladder team and you were waiting hours and hours and hours, it was very difficult to do, to keep yourself focused to be able to do it. And East Islip's done it as good as anybody.
Yeah,
I mean, East Islip's been in and out of the mix, They have guys that are with them, guys that aren't with them, and they've basically kept it together to keep that team going down the track.
Yeah, they had a nice shot.
But
3-man ladder state tournament, come back with a 12-3 in C hose, get some points there, win C hose.
Yep.
784 in B hose, which stood to be second place after North Lindy knocked it down until the water got rerun. They would have had 10 points coming out of B hose, and that would have put them on the track at the end of the day with just running with no ladders. Think about that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So when you think about it, you're not running all those races, but you're still in it, right? How difficult is that to say the what ifs or what could have been?
Exactly.
It's got to be hard. Then we're going to go down to Belmore. Belmore's going to bring out the B truck. I think they're still going to be on the track this year, right? Any word on that?
Yeah, Jay's not. Jay's out driving. So,
right. So they got to bring in a new driver.
The guy, he did a good job last year.
And then we got Carl Place. Carl Place a couple years ago, they were hitting on a couple cylinders there, scoring some points state drill, and then scoring, and then it's one thing again. It's that consistency of keeping the guys around to be able to do things.
Yeah, the wheel of racing really hurt them when the wheel said no more Carl Place for Junior there. He was a key component over there. I tell you, he did a good job with those guys for a couple 3 years and really put them right on you. They set some real good times. They're the best shots ever.
When you lose a component like that of the team, obviously it's very hard to make amends and be able to come back and be able to do the things you did before. But they have some young guys, and then they throw a team together out there. But can they keep going?
They got to stay healthy. That's the whole thing with them.
It's a lot of people
got banged up, just right before the season started, and so
Yep.
You don't start the season healthy.
And then you got Baldwin. Baldwin, you talked about earlier. They have that charity drill over there, plays the B truck tournament, and They struggled last year getting, I think it was manpower, right?
Yeah. But they, like I said, they're having fun doing it. We got my girl, young Donnelly, on the hydrant floor. I mean, poor John. I mean, just ditched her there twice at the hydrant that one tournament. Remember that? She fell down.
That was yeah. Well, I have to say,
man.
I'm going to give her a lot of credit here, right?
She got right back up and got on the
Absolutely. Listen, if you're going to get on the back of those trucks, you got to get off and do it. And I give her a lot of credit. I think we gave her a lot of credit that day and everything. But
yeah, I saw them at the Rockville Center Parade, and of course, I had to give them some ribbing and everything, and Katie Donaldson, of course, John Colkin doing the driving. Yeah, good enough season. They got out there a few tournaments. They ran the county, ran the CI, ran the state, ran at Labor Day, so they're getting after it. And they do the best they can over there.
And then we go down to East Farm. We're going off the state list last year. Most of the teams that had not scored or scored minimal in the state drill. East Farm, they're another team. Are they going to be out this year? I know they combined again with Huntington Manor, I think.
Yeah, the Hairy Bulldogs.
Will they get out early? Is it just going to be late? But that's another manpower issue. And they have the equipment. They got all that stuff that they need to be able to be out there, right? Going to practice.
Something happened last year, middle of the season, and they ran the first three tournaments, and we never saw them again really after the county, I want to say.
And how about Oyster Bay?
I don't know what's going on in Oyster Bay.
Yeah,
they get so close every year. They get the right players, the right places, and then the off season happens. And next thing you know, this guy's out, this guy's in.
But you think about it, Billy, that happens to so many teams. But it seems like it happens to Oyster Bay constantly, right?
Every year it seems to happen to them. I was talking to my counterpart, Darryl Ronaldo. He threw his name in the hat. He said, if you want me to help out, I'll come down. They had a rough time with the sea truck last year. I mean, it's not as easy as you think it is, people. You really need to know what you're doing. You can't. It looks easy. Oh, I'm just going to go down there, hit the gas, and jam the brakes on. You're going to get off and do it. It's as we saw with a couple of these teams last year. It doesn't work like that.
No, and you know what? It's funny because Oyster Bay always makes that little step, and you see it, and then it just goes away, and then they make that other step, and you see it, and then it's not there, and you just want these teams to be able to keep it together. And
for guys on the bench, I mean, Darryl's got more experience than any one of them. He drove us really great hot shots with Westbury. Did a great job with the Oyster Bay team a few years ago when he moved back over there as well.
Yep.
So I can't say enough for my buddy over there, but they got some good people over there. The Wet Bandits over there. That was a lot of fun last year.
A lot of fun watching them run motor pump, right?
Yeah. Had a great year in motor pump. They won the county trophy here in Nassau County for that.
And I like that they took on the persona of it, right? And they ran with it, and then when the time came, they delivered.
I believe they set.
I like that.
They set their team record at Central Islip with a 594, 597 at Point Pleasant. They ran around with those placards, the Wet Bandits with the wanted. That was great.
That was good stuff, right?
They had a lot of fun at Point Pleasant.
But that's listen. Part of this whole thing is having a lot of fun, and when they're together, they're having fun. That's what always gets to me is like, how do you not keep it together when you're having that much fun?
If it's not fun, it's work, and no one wants to show up for work. You know that.
It's not work when it's a lot of fun. All right, North America. They'll be out again this year, right?
Yep, they'll be out again. Don't think they have a sea truck just yet.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, another team that was making the turn, and they're always dangerous in efficiency, right?
Yeah, they got some young kids on there. T.J. McCauley, the son of Mr. McCauley on our board over there.
Best-looking team on the track in terms of the uniforms, right?
Yeah, the Morzellos. I mean, big hurt for them was that Paul stepped down driving, and now AJ's doing the driving. He was an event man for him. The climber, the nozzle man, hydrant man. He did everything for him. So it's always. It's a learning curve. Last year was a big step for them to
think about how rare is it that you can keep that momentum going when your driver stops and you got to put a guy that's been on the back of the truck at all those races to drive and
that's the last thing you got. He's all you got. You got to go with him.
It's hard to do. I mean, the way Wes Sable's done it with Michael getting in the seat has been amazing when you think about how difficult that is.
And they didn't lose a whole lot with him switching over. There's only a couple guys that really, Mike Welton, when he went right into the seat, did a great job.
Oh, that was amazing, too.
Stan did a good job when he switched over.
Yeah.
But I said before, it's a lot harder than They didn't look, so I'll tell you that.
Ellesmere, they're probably the lone northern team that's going to be on the track if they can get out this year. They didn't make it out last year, but if they can get out this year, they got to keep that whole northern thing going. It's a lot on their back, but we didn't get to see them at the state drill last year. I don't know if there's any drills up in northern this year, but we would love to see Ellesmere back out there. Unfortunately, at the state parade, they didn't show up to. They got a couple gigs. But besides that, we didn't see a lot of Ellesmere last year.
What time we got? Well, let's get through this and we'll get to the Derby.
We're gonna do what?
Oh, we got a couple.
Yeah,
minutes
Derby's coming up. We'll finish these. Then we'll go. Then we'll do some of the top teams that we're looking forward to this year. So we still got West Islip. West Islip, they put the effort out last year. They were showing up. The guys were going to practice. They had more guys with North Patchogue than they had in the last couple.
Yeah, they showed up a lot. Good.
Thought they showed improvement throughout the year.
Bunch of good guys over there. They broke out the C truck. It was good to see that on the track. B-Ho's got a little bit better. And they're back this year too, so it's going to be a good year for those guys over there, the Raiders. Hey, nowhere to go but up from there. But you got to start somewhere.
And how about Henrietta? Henrietta, one of our Western teams. We talked about combining with Seabreeze this year.
Yeah.
They're looking to improve on last year, right? I don't think they ran all 8 races each week, but as the year went on, I think they ran more and more.
If you combine Munt with, that's his Munt's team. I'm sorry. The other guys in Spencerport.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, they got after it this year, last year a bit. It's just it's tough up there because you're only running four tournaments, or 5 tournaments.
Listen, not to sugarcoat it, you lose somebody like Josh. That's tremendous right there. I mean, Josh is an 8-race guy that gets it done, ultimate in each race.
And the fact they kept it going,
I give them credit for that.
100%. Spencerport lost a couple guys, and of course, Eric Thomas up there. Not Eric Thomas. Thomas up there running the show. Damn it! Sorry.
I don't know where you're at. What about Freeport? They coming out this year?
Not sure. Never heard much of them.
No. It's funny. They ran a couple contests last year in those drills, and we were like, "Wow! I mean, that's pretty impressive." Out of nowhere, that was pretty good right there.
Remember a couple years ago when they got the P truck, they ran
like an 8 and B hose, right?
24 they ran, right? I mean,
and you're always like, what are you going to bring next, right? But then they don't show up, and it's like, wow. But it's all about consistency and getting out there. I'm a big proponent of that. Another team up there in Western, Main Transit. Main Transit took, they were scoring or coming close to scoring in some state tournaments for a bunch of years, and they're the host this year. So what do you think about them putting something together for their drill up there in Main Transit when they host?
Well, they always figure something out, don't they? Usually they count that for a decent bucket run, but decent 3-man ladder shot up there, and hope for the best. I mean, the truck doesn't have the engine like some of these other trucks, that's for sure.
Well, they got a new C truck.
Ooh, what they got?
They got the old Patchogue C truck.
Oh, I heard about that.
That's right.
That's going to help. I mean, but you still need the hardware. I don't care what the chassis is nice. I'm surprised that chassis didn't get picked up by somebody else.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. It's going to take a little bit of work, but they were running that 1992 state tournament truck from Bayshore. I think that time probably had run its course right there. If you're going to be competitive across New York State,
what happened in '92 with Bayshore?
But yeah, with the Patchogue truck, if they can make that work, I'm sure they'll be thrilled with what they can do with it.
I'm really just surprised no one picked up that chassis with a decent motor in it. You know what I mean? Like a long team, just to give it a I mean, how many? I mean, a team like Lindner's that goes through everybody's trucks.
They're loading them at the Derby.
We're getting ready here.
If you're at home and listening, turn on the Derby.
What are we looking for, Paul? What's the?
Oh, I got so many different combos.
I'm talking about the Derby.
That's what I'm talking about. Me too. Throwing in the 2 there. I mean, what are they going in reverse here? They started out in the middle of the track and they went down to the 1. Here we go. We're off in the Derby.
He was at 5 rounds today, people. You never know.
Get your picks out. Don't listen to this guy. Get your picks out. It is a mess. Look at that track.
Oh man.
They're running across a lake. These jockeys, they got to take those goggles, and they're going to go through about 6 or 7 pair of goggles if you're in the back.
That's why you got to stay out in front. See where you're going. Well, these guys are going to look great at the end of this tournament. They're going to look. Oh man.
If you win, you're not going to care. All right, Citizen Bull looks like he's out front there. No, the 2 is up there. They said he's good in the water, so we'll see. Long way to go. It's a long race.
Yeah. Oh, and down the stretch they come.
No, we're not there yet.
Right now they're in about the sea ladder contest. And heading into the...
I'll tell you, the field...
Heading into the hose test.
The field is really stretched out right here. We got a group up in the front.
I wish they would put, like, what the numbers really are. You know?
They're up there.
No, I know, but, like, state record,
American Promise right now in second. He's a mutter. East Avenue.
All right.
And how about the 2? Are you kidding me? They said he was a mutter, but boy, he's out front.
Uh-oh. Paul's got 16 tickets out next to me.
16? I got to win 10,000 to break even.
Oh, no.
Here we go. We're talking down the stretch, Billy. They are wide across that track.
Wow.
Here they come. I'm going to go this. Oh, I'm losing my. Oh, I unplugged. Hold on.
No, you're good. I can hear. You're good, Paul. Doesn't matter.
I can't see who it is. Somebody coming in.
It's a 2-horse race coming down the stretch. Is Paul happy?
Probably not.
He's one of the cleaner guys. He had to be out up front the whole time.
Yeah, no, yeah. I don't know. Couldn't even tell the number. Is that a 14? 18. All right, I'll take that.
You had 18.
I'll take an 18. I think that's sovereignty.
Let's see.
I'll take that.
Let's see what that was.
Sovereignty is going to be the winner.
Steve Walsh, one of our...
I got the 18 with a whole slew.
Our man behind the glass with a winner over here. That's good to see. American Promise, journalist, Slanderman. My family didn't do so hot.
Sovereignty wins, but it's not who wins. It's who comes in the next ones. What did Sovereignty go off at?
I'll punch it up. You must have it on now.
Hold on, I got it.
You got it on your
Hold on,
FanDuel.
hold on.
Are we going to put racing on FanDuel one of these days?
We should, right?
All right.
Hold on.
Now, as Paul gets into that there. 7-1.
That's what he went off at final? 7-1?
7-1.
All right, who's
so-
with him? That's a moneymaker.
Yeah. You got that with the...
Definitely the 8. So journalism comes in second. Biza and Final Gambit.
You hit that one in the...
18, 8, 21, and I think it's the 3. Hold on. 18. I don't think I got that.
He's got like...
I got the 8.
One ticket.
I got the 18, the 8, the 21, and the 17.
He's got tabs. What's it, the Superfecta?
You got to go to my 21s. Biza hanging in there. He was the late ad.
The late ad.
Yeah. I don't think I got anything. This show's over, Billy. Going home. Can't even afford wings.
Hey, we're still on.
Wait, that's right. We're still on the arm.
Here for another 45
Can I get an order of wings over here while we're still under the Suffolk officials?
Why are they, Pat? Getting all these guys. Awesome. He's gonna need a couple ultras and maybe a shot or two to calm his nerves. He can go home and face his family. Poor Abby at home. You know, Abby's probably home right now. She probably had the winning text right there.
Oh, friend of mine hit the trifecta.
Oh no!
You come down here and buy me some wings.
How much is that?
It's got to be pretty good.
Oh, that's gonna be a good one. The 7-1 is a
Buys his third. It's 18, 8, and 21.
Oh, and those other horses weren't favorites either.
Oh, that's got to be a nice little chunk of change.
That's gonna be in the hundreds. Maybe a comma in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a comma.
Yeah. All right, Fatty McGee's tonight.
Little getting some feedback.
All right, how
Mike
we doing?
Pinkney from the 40 Thieves said he put this on to hear some racing talk.
Oh,
That was racing. That was horse
Oh,
racing.
horse racing. It's racing.
Talk about
What's he know?
horsepower.
He didn't race last year.
Talk
what
about
those guys
horsepower.
do?
Patchogue, how about them? They're going to bring out the C truck this year.
We were waiting for you, Mike. Don't worry. You were definitely coming up. We got a this is the right time, I think, to bring you guys into it. Let's talk about a little bit about Patchogue coming back. Get to see that. I mean, they did all that work a couple years ago, got the truck back on the track, and then out of nowhere they pull the
rug out, right
after under you.
But Patchogue is going to be all right, right? I listen. In the state of racing, I lost my plug here. In the state of racing, I think Patchogue, if they can improve on where they were a couple years ago,
they were in a good spot. They were coming on strong there, and Vehos were good. Buckets was looking really good.
Yes.
They had Buckets. It was down into the 23s, and it was getting along. And then we don't see. Hopefully they don't lose anything there, you know. And hopefully they can get it back. I mean,
well, you would think they could probably. Well, you don't know.
Well, you take a year off, and someone says we ain't racing anymore. I mean, you might have lost some bodies. They might have left. Sticking around. Big shout out there to Mike Payne. He was around for how many years with those guys?
Long time.
Good climber, good man. And he always does a great job. Always good to see him out there.
He stays in great shape. It's not
Yeah,
like
he
he
always
can't
say-
jump out there and still race.
He always says to me, you know, you never once get the roster right. Well, I come by your camp, but you guys park so far away. I only got so many minutes to get to the arch to get ready for the opening bell. And you're like in another county because you're afraid of everybody. This isn't the old days. You get closer to people now. They kind of like you a little bit now.
Did you go with the kinda? That's funny.
Well, I'm not going to put a full 100% into that.
I mean, talk about teams coming back. So Patchogue's one of the teams that's going to be coming back on
Yeah.
the track. We talked about some teams that might not be out there. But
So this team's
Patchogue's one
coming
of those
back.
that is coming back. And if you ask me, I mean, in terms of what's looking like in Suffolk County, I mean, they're an outside shot at top 5 county point potential, if you ask me. I mean, the way they looked a couple of years ago, of course it's going to take them a little bit to get up to steam, which is probably going to hurt them.
I just want to see the sea truck. It looks great. I saw the pictures. The pictures look terrific. I mean, they ran it once, I heard, and then.
Well, it's good then.
Wishes in Camp 2 don't get it done.
Yeah, it's true. True story with that.
Cold Hard Cash gets it on the track, and here we go. Yeah, I'm really happy to see them with a sea truck, and let's go.
Yeah, no, it's great to see them back. And then the other team that it's coming back, I believe, is Ice Up Terrace. Which technically we are in the Terrace right now, I believe, right? This is not East Ice, it's Ice Up Terrace.
This is Terrace.
East
yeah.
Ice Up? It is? All right. Well, the Terrace is on the other side of the bridge.
Yeah, it's right over. It's right here. Think about.
So
they got some great history over there in Terrace, and how many of those Terrace guys are still getting it done today? Or?
think about the history of Terrace, what you're talking about there. You know, Kevin Hayes is a Terrace. He's a Schlager.
He's just a terror now.
He's just a terror. But no, he's a Schlager. I mean, those teams, when you think about those 78, those 79 Ice Up Terrace teams, they were legitimately good. Like, legitimate had a chance at winning the state drill. And, you know, right there for Suffolk County total points.
And they were solid. I mean, they hosted the Labor Day drill, right? Before Hagerman took it over? It was, they had a drill out here, didn't they?
Every year it was
I
at the
was
Terrace on Beaver Dam over there, right in front of their firehouse.
So
that's
other
where
people
they
don't know that because Terrace ain't been around a while.
No, that's where it was. Every year, right on Beaver Dam.
Yeah, Dad used to take us out there when I was like, this is 5 or 6, I remember.
Yeah.
Mom be like, you're going down to Tormey, you're taking the kids. I'm getting the day off from you.
You know what I remember about that? And Phil with these culottes, he probably knows too. But I remember, you know what they used to do? They used to dig a hole behind the stands and put up plywood around it. And then they would put up a 2x4s, and that was the bathroom. You just went to the bathroom into a pit.
We call that a latrine.
I don't care what you call it.
They had a latrine.
But that's I remember that.
You remember the troughs with just beer and soda and everyone had tickets back there. No one bought grills.
Right.
All you bought was beer and that was it.
Right. Schaefer.
Schaefer. Oh my God.
Oh, it's still getting done, the beat truck? All right. So but are they racing? All right.
Good.
Okay.
Is it going to be the original beat truck?
Yeah.
Oh,
What they do with it?
Well,
Of course.
I don't know.
Did they make one out of thin air? So apparently the Terrace is coming back. But to get back to the plywood in the pit, so yeah, they would just take a bolt, they take a thing in there, they scrape out and you just piss over the 2x4s, and that's how you did it. And don't fall in.
What if you had to do number 2, Paul?
You know,
Did they tie a
no.
2x4 up?
Yeah, you got to tie yourself in. You got to rope in. I don't know. I don't know where you'd go for that. I didn't think I never had to realize it, but All right.
All right, so they're going to be out. We're going to see Terrace. They're working on a B rig, so
Bayshore wins in 80. Their first state drill, 82. I think it's 82. Juniors
really
at the Terrace track. Yep.
Did they dig a latrine for the juniors too?
They dug the latrine, absolutely, because it was the same weekend I think as the Labor Day drill. Nobody had to go to college back then.
So they used it the whole weekend.
The whole weekend. The funny part is, where is that? I think it's under the parking lot. So at some point, all the cars where you park there, they start sinking down. It's where it is. Yep.
Oh,
could you imagine the neighbors for the next week?
No.
The next week, and then what if the guy says?
I probably went in.
What
there
if the
as a kid, I
contractor
don't
says,
even
"No,
remember.
I can't make it for a week," and they just leave an open pit, and the neighbors are right across the street. It was in a neighborhood. The tournament was in a neighborhood.
We didn't have flies back then.
Yeah. Well, that time of year, the fly season's over, so that part didn't matter.
Yeah, there was no fly.
But the smell must have been phenomenal. Unbelievable.
Oh man.
And getting to the start line, you had to go down the block towards Sunrise Highway, or wherever you would go to get to the start line. But that track was famous. That track was there forever.
All right, so that's main transit. Welcome back. We hope to see you out there.
Digging a latrine.
I mean, dig a latrine.
They should do it old school, right?
Yeah, let's go old school.
Lock the bathrooms,
Yeah,
padlocks, and have just somebody scrape the ground.
do that Hempstead.
2x4s.
We'll do that CI.
Well, that Hempstead it would work, but
I mean, well, you go to Ridge, they got the big thing at the end. We can always use that.
the trough.
Yeah.
I still have a scar on my hand from the trough.
Oh, that was
Jumping in, but yeah.
definitely a lot of fun in the 90s.
No, somebody should do it though. Just scrape 2x4s.
Well, North Belmont can just break out the old house, the outhouse. Hey, Mr. Robert Tascio here.
Speaking of Patchogue.
Speaking of sea trucks being run by Patchogue.
So we gave you the little rundown
Of the other teams.
of the other teams, and now let's go through the teams that scored last year.
Got a little Josh Marshall action in the stands over here as well. We'll get him over here. I don't know, he doesn't talk a whole lot. Get him over there. He's got a magnet in him.
What happened?
No, say Josh Marshall's here.
Oh yeah.
They're probably down for the St. James outing on Monday, which is just
Join D.
great out.
Steislip.
Yeah. He joined the Wolves.
What's he driving? All right, so let's go through. Speaking of the Wolves, jeez.
I want to start with the Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, they're right there at
Number
the top
one.
of last year's schedule under Riverhead, so.
So the Wolves go from winning 2 titles in a row, and so if you look at the rundown from last year, that 983 in C ladder, he slips, still runs at 9.8.
Yeah.
He finishes that. They're coming out of ladders, leading the tournament probably, or close to CI. Wouldn't have been a runaway. And like Matt Rod would say, if the Queen.
Yeah.
But anyway, another good season for the Wolves. They finished in the top 3 in 4.
You know, you gotta.
They had a good run.
You know what you think about, and we've talked about this on the state level, having teams that are entering the Hall of Fame, and the Wolves. I don't know if they get the
Some highlights on
criteria
this thing here for you.
of being a Hall of Fame. Not 3 in a row, but whatever. But if you're looking up on your monitor, you see the little Wolves running right there. That team right there, that group of guys for the last 5 years? You're gonna say, Billy?
Fantastic, good run.
They had a great run. They really did. And now that it's pretty much over. I mean, you could say it's over. There's a bunch of guys that aren't racing, some other guys that can't race anymore.
They lost a couple guys
That
left, and then a couple guys are going to the academy, and
that team's over.
they're gonna be hurting. Yeah, it's gonna be a new team. I mean,
New team, but you have to, when you look back at that and you look at what they did and the ladder shots they ran, the hose shots they ran, the pump shots. We can keep going almost all the way to buckets,
all night.
right? And it's just
Everything.
it was very impressive, and they deserve a lot of credit for everything they brought to racing over the last 5-7 years. I mean, you couldn't go to a drill without thinking ISOP had an opportunity to win, right?
They'll retool. They'll get themselves back in action eventually. You know that's going to happen. I mean, they had the big squad back in the 2000s. They took a couple of years off, and bang, they come back with a nice little 7-8 year good run here.
Yeah, no, I know. But it's got to be hard, right? It's got to be hard if you're sticking around.
Definitely,
You know, the guys that are sticking around that are still going to try to get out there, it's not easy. It's
one of my favorite
hard.
teams I do hang out with a lot.
Yeah.
It's it hurts, when you're like, crap, we're not going to have this guy, that guy. So you gotta have to fill in the void. I mean, they have guys, they have some players. You just got to plug them in and work at it,
And then, we're going to move down the list a little bit here, but we talk about Patchogue here at Hagerman. I think Hagerman, you talk about Islip has an issue, so they're out. I think Hagerman probably has the best opportunity to jump into that spot, right? What do you think about that? Can they take now, I'm not saying maybe run all the runs that Islip did, but can Hagerman fill the void in the top 5 that Islip's going to leave? I think they're the number 1 team to do it in Suffolk County.
See, I think 2 things hurt Hagerman. One, they never start the season well.
Okay.
And they don't have, they got adequate climber. Aaron does a good job. They moved the young Dunham in there. He didn't do quite so well. They brought Aaron back, but at least they gave the kid a shot. It's you don't have that guy that has the extra gear like Billy does or Josh does. But if you can stay in that 5-3, but now you've got guys like they get better in Westhampton. They get better in Hempstead. Ryan Marr doing a good job climbing over there.
But can anybody?
But these guys are ahead of you.
Hold on.
You're not going to get your points
Can anybody still in 2025 finish the day better than the Hagerman Gamblers?
I was just getting to that. What I was going to say is, now you get to Hempstead tournament, you get to CI. Now they start putting the pieces together. Like last year, the gunslinger, I don't think he was ready to give Aaron the full water. All of a sudden, he blasts him at a Hempstead. Aaron puts it on. And I tell you, he didn't have much time, but bang, bang, puts it on. I'm just looking for the numbers here on the smash the target. Good run.
But you're counting on if they can make gains from 3-man to B-hose, right?
Just get a couple points in there.
But you can score minimum 10 in the last 3. The way they ran buckets at the end of the year last year.
And I was going to say, and they finished the season off with the best bucket shot of the year.
That's what I'm talking about.
And they needed it to get on the track, which was they always do something good at their tournament at the end of the year. Order Pump, they break the record a couple years ago. They run the best shot of the year in buckets. Just missed the record.
Yeah.
Too. That was so close.
They're my pick to take the void of the Islip Wolves might be leaving this year. I think Hagerman can make the jump. If they can work on, like I said, those first 5 races, I think they have a legitimate shot.
And if you look at them, they also jumped up another spot in state tournament this year. I think they moved to 4th, right?
No, I think it was the same.
Oh, was it 5th?
Yeah. I think it's like 3rd year in a row, right?
Yeah, they're right there.
All right, after that, how about North Belmore? What are you hearing on North Belmore? Anything?
They're pretty quiet over there. Saw a couple guys during the de facto parade season of the parade month of
February. March, right.
I tell you, there's a lot of hot stove talk going on at a lot of these parades, and which, like I say, if we brought back some block parties and made these things fun, there's a bounty of money to be made. We made a ton of money in Westbury doing the parade.
But are the people still there like us that are going to hang out and do that? I mean, I don't know. These young kids, they get on the Tic Tac and do all that stuff.
They're not coming out to hang out with a bunch of old men drinking beer on the track. I'll tell
That's
you that.
probably true. We're doing that tonight.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of Nassau County, North Belmore, we're looking at them on the screen right there. I mean,
it's
top
Belmore.
5 potential again, obviously.
Watch this shot here. It's the 9:13 they ran at Labor Day, I think, right here. Big shot. Joey Corcoran always does a great job on that ladder.
Oh yeah, climbs anything too. That's
the thing with them is it's just consistency. Can they? I mean, 3-man, they never score in 3-man. It's always just.
But
it's never been their thing.
know it. It's a foregone conclusion. If you can.
But you get that kid a ladder and B-hose. He's running a 5. He's gonna run a low 9.
Yep.
He's got 8 potential there. And I tell you, Mike does a really good job dropping in the hole. But these guys ain't getting younger.
No, I agree.
Father Time gets you eventually.
Yep. Moving down the list, how about West Sable? To me, I'm going to go out and say this. If anybody can knock the king off the castle, I think it's the West Sable Flying Dutchman.
Absolutely. Can't say enough. What I like about them is you got Mike Mary and you have his 2 sons. His 2 sons are so into it. I put that little thing out the other day, and before I even put the phone down, Matty Mara is already on. Hey, it's our this, it's our that, it's our that. It's 20 years since they won back in 2005.
That seems like, are you kidding me, right?
So think about that, and then I didn't even think. You have it all in front of you. So he said that year they ran 8 4s in B ladder in 2005. And I'm like, that is amazing. Of course, they won the title that year. And they did such a good job. And hey, congratulations. He's actually graduating from Alabama today. He's down there in Bama, so roll tide. And, his father Mike down there, the proud family, they're all down there cheering him on. Maybe they're, checking in from Alabama. It's 6:25 there. Maybe it's between party time and graduation time. But, what a great season. And they had
Little Cornell history down there at Alabama.
a little bit, but that's not me talking about that. So, he floored me.
But what I was saying before was
So
that
20th anniversary. Fun fact: eight fours of B ladder that year. It's the racing. It's the 10th anniversary of then when they tied with the Hobos back in 15. For the
but
title.
when you think about top to bottom being able to run all those races, to me,
Yep.
I mean,
Right there.
the Hobos are the deal right
Here
now.
you go. Here they're coming down.
But are
These guys are right there.
I think
I think they got one more in them. This is the one they're gonna want it this year.
the Hobos would have a bad day. I think the first person to step into that spot would be. Can't
These
find
guys
my
right. I don't
thing.
think they need a bad. These guys can do it. And Billy had, he drank something last year. He was in the Fountain of Youth, and he had a fantastic season last year and just missed on a grabber. He had his best run of his entire life.
No doubt about it. And if they can listen, guy's in great shape. He wants to win. He's got all those things going on. So if he can still do that, they're there. But to me, like I said, that's my pick. If somebody can knock them off, and we're talking what is today, May what? 3rd, 4th, 5th. We're talking that today.
May the 3rd, tomorrow's Star Wars Day.
Is it? May the 4th be with you?
All you tomorrow.
Oh my God, that only comes from a Disney guy.
Are you putting the Darth Maul stuff on?
I'm not putting anything on.
Going to put those things on the
It's
side of your head like he's
embarrassing.
racing?
It's embarrassing.
Those
Don't
were
say-
Star Wars things on the side of your head. I looked it up.
No, that wasn't Star Wars. The Boz.
You put Star Wars lightning bolts on the side of your
It
head.
was the Boz.
Yeah. I thought the Boz got it from you.
He did.
But I tell you, so West Able, look what they do across the board. It's all right there.
Nice crowd in here right now. You got a bunch of people from up there in Henrietta, and I guess I don't know, Spenceport, Seabreeze. Who knows where they're from? One. All right, one guy. No, I saw his father here. We
So
got some Henrietta guys.
Yeah, baby. You guys want to come over here and say a couple words? We'll put you on the mic. We got room for you.
So next up is be Linnehurst. Linnehurst. I think I don't know what to expect from them.
Nah, they're a mystery. You never know.
It really is. They seem to be like they're always somebody who's losing some people and stuff like that. Next up is going to be Westhampton. How about Westhampton? I think they're the team to beat in Nassau County. Prove me wrong.
Oh, I'd love to prove you wrong on that. Some good bad news for Southampton, which is
Well, no, that's Southampton.
No, I'm gonna
We'll
say,
get
but-
this. We'll
but-
get there.
but that's gonna-
We'll get there.
That's going to move Westhampton up a little bit there,
We'll get there.
But no, Westhampton, good year last year. Obviously, I think Danny Brome is getting a lot better. He's getting a lot more comfortable, doing a better job climbing. The whole team looks good. Bunch of young kids. They switched a couple years ago, got rid of the whole old team, and they overnight switched to the brand new team. And they, as a joke, I thought it was on the table. They were going back, and after one tournament, nope, we're not coming back.
No, it's working.
It's all
No,
yours.
it worked, and I like you're saying. I only see improvement from the West Hempstead
terrific.
Westerners.
And the
That's
only-
for sure.
The only old guy on the team is probably Pat Cloudman.
She's still alive on the team.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's the one guy you got rid of if you want to win a tournament.
Yeah.
The curse does lift.
Yeah, so I think West Hempstead is good. They had a tough state trail last year, but I think overall that they are in Nassau County one of the teams that you're going to have to deal with.
I felt so bad for them.
No
last year,
doubt
state
about it. Well, they had the
tournament.
good bucket run at the state trail. They finished well, which, that's a young team. It's hard to get a young team when they have a bad day to come out there and finish that drill, and they run that second place shot. So that's something, little glimpse of what you can look forward to. You were just talking about South Hempstead.
No, but West Hampstead and Dumper Mike, he does such a good job dumping. And like you said, lousy day going on, and they still come out and they throw some points on the board buckets. That's good when you don't throw the towel in.
Right.
You still give it. It's so easy just to be frustrated.
100%.
And that's important. All right, rest.
So you're up to now, South Hempstead. So this was like everybody's favorite last year. You go to the state trail. Who you hoping for? Who you want to be in the top 5? Who you there? And everybody was on the South Hempstead bandwagon, right?
That's
And
not the
then they get it right. They get the top 5.
Well, what's not to love about these guys? I mean, you got Spats. You got Joe Hunter. You got all these guys I started racing with back in the day, and obviously Joe's no longer with us. And so you got that. We have the Joe Hunter Memorial, all that. We got Luke with us. We have Tommy Marr's been there forever. They got the Hempstead Hornets on the team with them. They got a couple Merritt guys. You got some Buckeyes in there, but you got all Tom Marr's entire family there, except for his wife, who's probably cooking in the kitchen for these guys, doing the job. And it's so much fun to watch. And just every year they're getting better. Twan always talks. And a couple of 3 years, finally this year they put it on the track.
Yeah, no, it was great to see, right? And to see someone outside the box make their way into the top five was always a home run.
And bust the door down with real runs, not
right.
There were no mistakes there. It's not like, oh, we slunk in with a 576 here and got 3 points because everyone else slunk. No. They throw a 901 just out of the eights, 908, 926.
552, they don't score and be ladder.
Yeah.
I mean, normally that's score, and then they run that 13 flat.
That's okay.
In C-Hose.
At 5:38, they ran the invite. So Hempstead, and
they
said it's all right there. And I heard one or two of their members might have gotten into the academy, which is gonna.
So you could talk about it. I mean, that looks like what's going on, right? So they lose the climber.
Well, I'm not gonna use any. I don't know how that is anymore, but yeah, I talked to Spats a little bit before the way here, and he says, we're working on it, but look at these young kids, they're studs, they'll figure something out over there. And even without that, they're going to be all right.
No doubt there. I still think they're a top 5 group, but
I was so happy. I mean, they're on eggshells the whole time. They'd score 7 points. Like I said, if that rerun doesn't happen at B-Hose, they're out because East Islip just knocked them out.
Yep.
And they.
It goes both ways. It's just.
It was so much fun. I mean, it was the second fewest points to get on the track.
Doesn't matter.
It didn't matter.
It don't matter.
It did not matter.
It doesn't matter.
They broke
you
out
go down the track, nobody remembers how many points you scored. You just remember. And when you're on that team, and you, for the first time ever in the history of your department, you take that down the track.
I never got to
That's
go down the
something.
track.
Exactly. That's something special
5, 6
right
places.
there.
I never had one.
Yep.
I traded off for 1 5th place.
Exactly. And it's something special. And, they were a fan favorite. Everybody liked them. And you just hope that and it's got to be devastating to them if they can't, repeat that because life takes its place. And that's what happens.
And they're all, super nice guys.
Yep.
And
people rooting for them.
You go to you go to the Labor Day tournament, you go to the invite. They're always cooking lobsters over there or something. And what a spread they put out. Great manfestors over there. A bunch of manfestors over there. With Spats over there, these guys, and can't say enough.
Nope.
And even after they win, they get 5th place after the parade. While you guys are tabulating the points for East Farmerdale over there, they put out a spread and a half.
I was there. I
so
partook.
You with me.
I partook.
It was us, Point Plaza. Whoever else showed up, and once you got over there, I meant to go talk to everyone else. I didn't leave.
100%. And it was so great. What was so great about it was they were still so thrilled and so happy with how they did, and everybody was coming to them. And it's like that coming to you moment where, you're now in the group, you're in the club, you're in this, and how long have they been going at it to be a part of that, right?
And I mean, look at Mike. I mean, his dad's been doing it forever. I mean, first time Southampton's ever been on the track at the state tournament.
Yep. Yeah, Ray, I agree with you. All right, so we're going to turn the page a little bit here, go to Miller Place. So Miller Place, they're the other team I'm thinking, like, if you're thinking about Hageman, why not Miller Place? Why can't Miller Place? Think about how many team records they set last year. 5, 4, and they kept on improving on some of them as the year went on.
Yeah.
Why aren't they a team that should be mentioned with? I think they are.
I think they're great. I mean, how do you like? You got Scotty Letizia on the hydrant. You got Chris Russo climbing. Did a really nice job. Like you said, you look at the beginning of the season. They come out firing. 5th place at Lindy. 4th at Selden, 17 points. 5th place at the Hunter. They're on the track. County tournament 4. And then all of a sudden it's like they hit a wall. CI 3, Hempstead 9, and then the state Westhampton, they come back from Labor Day. There you go.
Yeah, they crush it.
But I tell you, they got a good bunch of guys over there. And like I said, Chris Russo, what a big pickup from Farmerville a couple of years ago. Scott Letizia, the biggest pickup of all probably. I mean, this guy does not miss a hydrant. You give him a chance.
Billy, I think the biggest.
It's water in a hole.
I think you're missing the biggest pickup. The biggest pickup is they decided to be a motorized racing team.
Absolutely.
And when they made the turn to be a motorized racing team and they took that serious as a full-time basis, that's when it changed. And then you're adding the components and you're adding the pieces to it. Then you get really good and you want more of it, and that's what they did. They are a legitimate team right now that you have to go to every drill and think about how they're going to do. And I think they're a top 5 Summit team.
And they're only going to get
top
better.
5 state team.
as Dick Patchogue learns how to drive this sea truck a little bit better. It's like I said, we always say it's a weird sounding sea truck, but when you look at the numbers, he's right there with anyone else. He's in the 3.4s, 3.5s, right at the number where you want to be, and he's stopping it, and these guys are getting the job done.
I thought Rick showed improvement as much as any driver last year by far. And
absolutely.
Not only that, I don't think the sea truck is completely his fault. I thought he was dealing with the truck that wasn't consistent all the time for him. And listen, I'm not a driver, but I can only imagine if the truck isn't consistent for you,
Who's the
you're
coach
always
over
trying
there?
to worry about
Who's that coach?
Oh.
He's friends with
Danger.
with Patch Affairs.
No, I know.
They ran back in the day together. And so you also got Patch Affairs sending his information in to help.
Listen, there's a lot of history there, and
of course.
and
Justin Kiki does a nice job on top.
Listen, I'm looking for big things from those guys this year. I mean, that only makes racing better, right?
They start the year with a 796, finish the year with a 790 at the Labor Day drill.
Can they become the best team that ever left old-fashioned to motorized? Can they do it? Who do they have to beat? Riverhead was really good when they made the transition back in the 80s, 90s. To me, Melville's the best ever. They came in for a couple years and they crushed it.
Come on.
They crushed it. How about Kopech? Right? Kopech did a hell of a job. Can Miller Place take the top of that mountain?
And the good thing about Miller Place too, like you say, when they switched, they didn't wait too long.
No, they waited too long, Billy.
It
was too
Rockville
long.
Center waited way too long.
Well,
Rockville
and it
Center
falls apart.
If Rockville Center would have done it earlier,
It wouldn't fall apart.
they could have.
100%.
You
you
would have had these kids when they were younger.
We would always sit.
Freeport waited 2 years before they came over.
We would drive around in the van, go to Albany and do whatever. We would talk about Mother Place all the time, and we would say, you know what the problem is? They don't know what kind of racing team they want to be. And until you decide what kind of racing team you want to be, you can't do it. You can't be both.
Nope.
And when you put your mind to it, as they've done now, plus added a couple pieces, it makes a big difference. I'm looking at big things for Miller Place this year.
And one thing I got to say about look at Miller Place here. I got my book in front of me. This is the last 3 years, Paul. 1, 2, 3. They go to every tournament.
You're telling me.
They race at every tournament.
I think it's super important. I look back at some of our stats. We used to go to I went to 13, 14 tournaments some years.
You guys used to go up to Pepper Lake and those other
you
places.
name it. We were going. And I thought that's a big part of it. And I agree. I agree with you, Billy, and that's what they do. How about your boys, Westbury? Westbury, New Hyde Park. What are we thinking about this year?
Lost a body or two, picked up a body or two. So we got Kevin McGowan back. We lost Matt Reth's not going to be with us this year.
That's a killer.
One of our diggers, Giuseppe. Hope you're feeling better. Giuseppe Montalbano got a little. He's got a health problem he's dealing with. Wish him the best with all of that. A couple of the guys we lost because of other reasons, but we'll be all right. We picked up a couple kid from CW Post, good baseball player. And then the Termites are coming through with a couple boys on their end. But we'll be out there. I think this year we made me running as the Termites. I believe it's an anniversary for them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How about that? The breaking news.
No one wants to tell me that it's the secret, but hey, I'm just saying it's a preseason thing.
Breaking news.
But either way, it's going to be out there. And down there running the trucks the other night. Trucks are beautiful.
Yep.
Mike Athena does such a nice job.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer right there.
I can't even joke about his age because it's what it is.
It's really crazy, but
I think he's been driving 40-something years.
So consistent.
Oh, if you put him, if you put you guys,
well, you can't put him in a bad truck. He's in a good truck.
No. If I took you and your brother and your host team, put him on his truck, you there'd be an 11 announce on that run.
We still put water across the street. I thought that's where you were going.
Oh, come on.
At the nozzle end, not at the high truck. At the nozzle end.
I was just gonna go there.
He shoots it in the gutter.
Where's your brother today, by the way?
I don't know.
You don't know where your brother is.
No. Well, he's not here, I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so now, I don't think we hit on these guys before. Did we hit on Spencer Port before? Did we do it? Maybe we did with Josh, right? So let's go down. Let's go to Bayshore. So Bayshore.
We got Josh here. We got to get him over here.
But we'll see. We're running out of time here. We got Bayshore. I think Bayshore is another team that has an opportunity to pick up the slack for other teams that are going to be missing out.
Bayshore made some nice adjustments last year. Got the game going in the right direction again.
Yeah.
Year before they got beat up a little bit.
You got to love how Michael Butler's running nozzle in those races, and if Bradbury's going to be running hydrant again, I think that's going to be solid. That's maybe still up in the air. I don't know. He ran the other night at practice.
Whoa.
But he was going to be in the academy stuff like that too, but I think got pushed back. What are you looking at me for?
No. Since when did the academy matter? I mean,
I don't know. Never mattered to me.
I'll tell you, when
I wasn't in the academy.
When we raced back in the day, that was just something else. Bernie get buried, and he figured out how to get there on time for practice.
Right. All right. Listen, it's a whole
Didn't
different
miss
world.
a tournament.
Whole different world. But I think Bayshore has an opportunity because they can run the last three. You know, if they can get down the hose races, ladder races, to score a couple points. I think Bayshore has an outside shot at top 5 county points, top 5 state trill.
Yeah, a couple of really good B-hose shots.
It's not going to be negative for Bayshore. They're not going to go backwards. That's a positive right there. So it's only looking forward for them.
To see a kid like how old's Butler? Is he old enough to drink?
Oh, Michael? Yeah.
19 years old. 20?
No, he's 21.
Oh, well, but still, he comes in and then his first couple shots, I couldn't believe he had the nozzle, and then I think then he started thinking he's.
No, you got to give him credit. He's done a great job.
Yeah. A lot of fun there.
Not a good-looking truck, but
needs.
There's better ones in the Bayshore Fire District. But anyway, that's a different story.
Can you fit in that truck?
Shut up.
But
like I'm saying, I think Bayshore's arrow is pointed up, if you ask me.
So what happens with your B truck? I mean, just to touch on this. We have our B truck. They redid the whole thing, and we're having one last fundraiser for it next week, next Saturday.
Yeah.
You guys are around May 10th at Westbury Fire Department. Come on down. It's $100 for the buy-in for a great night. Trust me, win or lose, it doesn't matter. The $100 you're getting, the Westbury puts on the show and a half. You're gonna walk out of there stuffed, loaded. You're gonna have a great night of racing and talking.
Stuffed and loaded.
And for half the bucks, for $50, just come in and drink and hang out with us, get some of the raffles. It's gonna be a fun weekend. But just to say, I mean, the B truck looks good. You saw some of the pictures. I mean, are they doing something like that with your truck? Or is it too? When I meant too small, that truck's a lot smaller than it looks on TV.
Oh, the B truck?
Yeah.
Oh, it's tiny.
Are the doors on or off?
Yeah, the doors on or off this year.
Who knows? Maybe they cut the roof off, make it like the old one. Anyway.
Here's up there. The new kick got better.
I mean,
the climber got better this year too.
I will say that Bayshore is having 100th anniversary next year for the Redskins name of the part of the drill team. So they're gonna have the truck, and they just got the other truck back from Main Transit, the C truck they won the state tournament with. So be like 73 trucks out front of that firehouse that night. I don't know if you're invited, but
are you still the Redskins?
What?
Are you still the Redskins? Or you get the
Oh, it's staying the Redskins. No,
some.
I think the Redskins are coming back to be the Redskins.
All right. No, just wanted because there was some turmoil in the offseason.
No, there wasn't.
Not you guys.
No, there wasn't.
Other departments.
Not in Bayshore.
No, other departments.
What about Manhasset combining with Port Washington? I heard there's a little maybe manpower thing there too.
It's always been
rough getting out.
They got out to a bunch of tournaments last year. I mean, they ran the Joe County Central. They ran 7, 8 drills.
Right.
And I tell you something. Danny hit the fountain of youth. Danny Solano at Labor Day. He had a 249 handle.
Listen.
And he looked fantastic.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, if his nozzle man's almost as old as he is, I think that's what hurt him.
Why not?
Steve Licardillo's up top. He got washed on that one, but I'll tell you, Stan gave him to him, and Danny ate it up. Always a fun time.
Yeah, that's good.
And we'll see them out there. It's always good. Thank God we have them out there. And Albertson, of course, fills out the roster there, and they bring 5 or 6 bodies over them. So we'll see them out there on the track, I'm sure.
How about North Lindenhurst?
North Lindenhurst. Now they're an outsider there. I think North Lindy could get up there with a couple, 3 teams in there. Look at their roster there. Last year Lepersky was in there, and Tomchuk. They did a great job digging. I thought Ducky reinvented himself. Really came back here. We got a couple North Lindy shots up here. Paul has to use the latrine at Main Transit. He's walking around the block. What a year. I mean, Chris Connell breaks the record for 7s by a Hydra man. And then it has taken away from him again, but always a great team here. And we'll see them this year. They're not done. They're not done at all. I think they can get it. What do you think there, Steve? Get your mic. Go a couple words. Here they are right now. We can't see them running buckets over here. Their numbers are always good across the board. Solid, classy department. Got to hang out with these guys. Scott Rice, he took us back to his firehouse after the Lindenhurst Irish parade, and that was a really, really fun night just to a way to cap it off on the way back to Westbury. That was the last stop before I get on the Parkway. So you didn't want to be on the road that night. Nah, I was good that night.
I think North Lyndhurst.
I thought they had a good year last year.
It was okay, right? They had to put in a couple bodies and do things like that. I mean,
just
Vinny's first year driving.
Yeah,
Did you mention that?
And he did. No, he didn't get that, but the numbers all look the game. They just got to get it all on the same day, you know.
Well, yeah,
that
goes for anybody.
State tournament, it didn't start out.
Yeah, it was a rough.
And
And after that beat Hosa in the rerun, that was tough to come back from. But
and then you get hosed like that.
When you think of North Lyndhurst, obviously you go right to top 5 Suffolk County, right to top 5 New York State, and I don't think they've slacked off any.
No.
But to me, their arrow's only pointing up as well because, like Bayshore, it's just another year under the belt. Chris is going to go down right now as the greatest hydroman that ever ran. So, he's going to. I don't expect anything different from him. I think that they got Kevin up at the top. I think they're going to be all right in hoses. If Dave Ducky.
The only thing you could really think about with them is when does Chris say enough's enough? I mean, he's been. You think about how long he's been doing it. A lot longer than I thought he was.
No. When you look back at it, he does. But when Twan made all those stats, it's pretty impressive. And,
he's got 20 years running 100. I mean, that's a lot of time.
I mean, he's like surpassing his dad at this point and everything he did. But you look at his career as a hydrant and the runs he's run. It's unbelievably impressive. To me, if North Lindy wants to be super successful, I don't think they're going to find the Fountain of Youth in 3-man right now.
Nope.
But I think they need to find something in the last 3 races where they can score some more points. Even if you get a year where Ducky can get it done and do all those things, you're going to need those points in the last 3 races. Can they run buckets? Can they bring buckets
back? Can you clean up buckets?
Right.
Can you clean up motor pump? I mean, one
consistency on a regular basis.
Labor Day, they had that really, really. I thought they broke the record on Labor Day. That was an awesome shot in motor pump. But the rest of the year, see them mid-6s there, a couple 1-5, but still, always a threat at the state tournament and any tournament they go to.
I agree with you, no doubt about it.
What do we have left?
So we got only one team left.
One team left,
and it's the CI Hobos.
Do we make sure we look at everyone else? I mean, I don't want to.
I think we covered them all.
And then, hey, you guys forgot us.
Yeah, I know. Well, at this point, the Hobos. I mean, how do they lose? Where do you see that they could lose the state drill?
So here's the only thing. So Ryan Murphy, obviously one of the better nozzlemen of all time.
Yeah,
the best. I don't know, but right up there with anybody else. Just in Central Iceland.
Right.
Anyway, so
that's the truth.
I mean, think about the other heavy shots you see him run, and he doesn't even have the best.
No, it's crazy.
And he's got like what 2 or 3 out of the top 10. I mean, they've had some great teams. I don't know exactly their regular stuff.
They have had great players. I mean, in all the positions, all the way through. So
they're going to interrupt us here.
Yeah, I know. We're talking about the Hobos. All right, we'll pick a 50-50. 255 is the winner.
And Lenny's not here, so I'm pocketing the whole thing.
And you get to buy.
You think Lenny would have asked for $20?
Phil, new shorts.
No.
All right, ticket number.
Can you read that thing?
No.
Oh my good Lord.
492.
It's a blue ticket.
Blue ticket. 492. 2238.
No, it's supposed to say 2163. There we go.
Phil, take the ticket.
The last guy that gets in wins the money. I like that. Good, smart move.
Right?
You got to do that. It's always a smart move.
I wasn't on top. I dug down.
I always do it. Preston does every time at our company meetings.
Anyway, we're talking about the CI Hobo. So,
we're gonna do the booze here, I guess, while we're at it.
All right, Jesus. All right.
Oh, he's gonna do this.
Red ticket.
Red ticket for the booze. I don't want the money. Give me the booze.
Red ticket number. My glasses. 36646 0-032. There you go.
Hey. All right.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So we were on the
We
hobos.
just talk about the Hobos.
Last year's state champs. I listen. You could take out Ryan, and I think it's gonna hurt.
Hey,
I
Pat.
think.
Pat, while you're there, before you throw those tickets out, you better get one while we're still open.
Yeah, that's right.
So the Hobos. So we just talked about Ryan Murphy up there, and so he's
I think they're gonna miss him.
well, he's calling it.
And and let's not say he's not coming back. That's another CI
I know.
tradition.
Well,
Where
yeah.
guys leave and then they're back
Oh, I know.
about the CI invite.
If it's not ready by the CI invite,
Right,
I'm sure
somebody
we'll-
else is gonna
I'm
be-
Sure, we'll see a return of the.
No
the
doubt
Murphy.
about it. But
So where do you start with these guys?
where do you end? It's never ending.
It's all day long.
You're right. Perfect scenario all day long. And
Back-to-back fours, broken records. This kid's
all the things we
21
said
and a half
weren't
years
going to
old.
happen, he's making happen, right? And listen, we say it's him, we say it's Richie, but
the team.
it's the team,
Oh my
the
gosh.
Diggers, and obviously can't forget Danny. Danny just is driving lights out.
I tell you,
And then they win the state drill. It's like, how, where do you find a spot that someone beats them when they have a decent day?
you got Jake and you got Eric Leonard digging for these guys. And those guys know when you're deep,
That's what I'm saying.
they put it in. They're a little short. They don't. And just Richie comes out of nowhere, and then state tournament Magic Man shows up. Oh, I trip over the hose. I still hit the target and win the tournament.
You saw it the
Yeah,
year
here's a
before.
5-9. That's the game over.
You saw it the year before. And
When he got in here and
how good they are. But there's not a race they can't run. That's the thing, right? And you don't find that with a lot of teams today. You go back into the what I call the golden age, and you're talking the mid '90s, late '90s. There was a bunch of teams that could run 7-8 races. Today, maybe not so much. They're a team that can run 7-8 races. There's a handful of them. But where did they make an error, right? And now that they have one more year under their belt and they're feeling even better about themselves, a little bit more veteran with those younger guys that are running.
and even their older guys. Arnold.
Well,
It's something to watch. We went to Richie this summer. 865 to start the year, 875, 857 at the Joe, 879, 884. Did not put anything in the nines.
Nope.
And see a ladder.
that's crazy.
Back-to-back fours in the middle of the season. Just a little glitch at the state tournament, but they didn't make the point. So Richie, they're saying he's running the nozzle spot right now. in
Yeah, it
practice.
looks like he's going to be taking the spot, Ryan's spot right there if he can get it done, and they don't have to have Ryan come back.
Well, it's a fight between him and his brother Scott to see who's going to
Right.
take over the nozzle. Give him a little chance. So you thought Richie was bad enough. No, his brother's coming. He's going to knock on the door and try and do something too.
Are you somebody who subscribes to the issue that your ladder climber shouldn't be in all those races?
No way.
You let him roll, right?
Well, if you got the players, let's go.
I agree. I'm the same. I'm on that board. Yeah, I don't think you have to protect anybody, because especially today when there's so few guys. But
No.
even on a good team with so many members, I don't think you have to protect anybody.
And they have, look how many bodies they have over there. You could probably run a B and a C team out there. Yeah, pull out some of those trucks out the garage that you're not using.
Right. Right.
Put those on the
It's
track.
like two post positions in the Kentucky Derby. 1 and 1A.
I was going to say
We'll come in the top 5. Give somebody else the 5th place trophy, right? So true.
And the 6th.
And this, yeah, right. Right.
Yeah, well, one hell of a season for them. Danny Jackson again. I mean, he makes that so easy for these guys, and it's not.
Right.
He turns C ladder into B ladder, and those guys eat it right up. Yeah, Joe Hunter drills a real nice time for them. Look at that. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 tournaments they win first place, and a couple of those not even close, just going away.
Yeah, I just, to me, it's
Efficiency teams right there, 3-man ladder. I mean, without Josh on the track, who's even close to them in 3-man ladder? You know what that's
I mean, you would think that West Sable
Yeah.
maybe can improve on that a little bit. Are they the next best team in 3-man? I don't know.
I mean, West Sable's best last year is a 647. You look at the Hobos, 6'2", 620, 624, 631, right there. They're always right there. And the Wolves are only ones competitive with them with their team, 622 with the state. That just beat them by 1. And there you go. But that's just an event you just lock up for them. Efficiency. Motor pump now. Buckets. It's just unbelievable. So
What is their what's their history? I'm trying to find it here at Main Transit.
Oh. Well, that's
I
good.
guess that's where we're going to be, right?
Sure.
I don't know.
I was digging through these things over here. So that's going to take us through the whole roster, and like we said, we're gonna start the season up from Lindenhurst.
7.5 points in 21.
21. 21.
10.5 in 16. Fourth place. Last time they placed top 5 was 2012. They came in fourth. So we're talking, 13 years ago, right?
Yeah, that's a little bit of a stretch there. State tournament, right, there you go. No, you're not their best day, but in between, there you go.
Then before that, 10.5. So they've only, since 2008, 2008, they've placed top 5 once. Nope, 2004, 4 points.
You're just looking at main transit times?
I'm just looking at Main Transit, 2 points in 2000. I mean, Main Transit's had a lot of state drills, right?
Yeah, of course. Well, every 4 years we're up there. Great job up there anyway with main transit. Can't say enough about the track up there and the facility. Most boring parade in the world, I'll tell you that.
So one top 5 in the last 20 some odd years. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Yep, 94. 5 points.
All right, getting ready to wrap this up here.
So
Left,
that hasn't been a great track for them as of late. So, but I think that the talent, 6.5 points in 92. So one top 5 in all the times in Main Transit. That possible? That possible for the Hobos? Or did they win there and probably won there before that? Didn't they? 90?
I thought there was something a little further over.
Yeah, the New York State champs.
Yeah.
90. That's what I thought. I thought they would.
They had someone in there.
But then, so from 90 on, one top 5, we're going on 35 years.
Some people have that track that's not their track.
They can have a 35th anniversary and state championship at Main Transit.
There you go.
It's a good little, good little camp out.
Why not?
Anyway, so we ran through the teams right there. I hope, gave you a little background. I don't, what's going to happen? Who knows?
So let's see. We got the, like I said, we have the junior tournament. It's going to be on the 1st at Westhampton. And we're going to open the year with the big boys with the Lindenhurst Parade, 10 o'clock in the morning at Fireman's Field in Lindenhurst off Railwood Avenue.
Yeah, look forward to maybe some different changes this year. I mean, if everybody's going to be, tuning in, hopefully, to the broadcast this year, try to bring you some different things, different angles, different video, different feedback.
Sure.
Trying to make it better all the time, and
always want your input, people. Always text us in.
That's the best part when
we have
people
the
can
chat
text in
thing.
and tell you what's going on. I mean, that's a huge help.
If you're in the pits and you don't hear something go up there, you at the track or you're at home, let us know.
Yep.
Sure, we got Largo Lou listening down there in Florida. They'll have their listening party down in.
Yeah, that's always great. It's great to hear when
they're
people
probably in Dunedin this year.
Dunedin, Jesus. It's always great to hear when people all over the place are chiming in and saying, "Hey, we're listening to this," because you could go any place in the world, but this never leaves you, right? When you do this never leaves you. As a guy that jumped off the back of that beat truck and beat hose as hot as anybody, you know that this doesn't leave you.
Well, I've jumped up it harder than some people because people don't hit the brakes on it. No, but seriously, no one else in the world does what we do here. It's a privilege to be doing what we're doing right now. We the best seat in the house and get to talk about this. And
that's a true story, Billy.
Hey, and all you fellas out there getting it done and practicing, get yourselves in shape. I want to see a good season out there. Do a good job because there's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than a bad drill.
No, I know.
I love when you guys get it all done out there. You hit the target.
And yeah,
Such a better time. It's a lot more fun for everybody.
sure is. I agree.
All right, so there it is, people. That's the preseason show. And
Suffolk County Drill Officials
This is-
fundraiser.
looks like we had a good crowd here.
There's a couple of pieces of hero left for you, Billy.
No, I'm not a hero guy.
No?
I hate
You're my hero.
Oh.
I know.
So that's going to wrap us up.
Oh,
here
yeah.
From,
You going over to get some wings? I think
Fatty
if we make it
McGee's.
before 8, I think it's on the officials.
Yeah, we got 1 minute to go. We're still on there. You just shut us off. No, but yeah, thanks a lot, everybody, for. Yeah, of course. Yeah, we got
Oh, yeah, sure. One more.
But terrific. Thanks a lot for the officials. Thanks a lot to Fatty McGee's and Eric over here.
Just
Always a good job. These guys always throw it out there to us, and can't say enough for what they do here at this bar.
And a shout out to the officials everywhere. I mean, we can't do what we're doing without the officials.
No, not
At the end of the day, the officials, if they're gone, we're gone because
there's no one doing it.
and it's not a glorified position either because there's a whole bunch of flack that comes with it and it's always changing and everything's fluid. But
It's not
thanks
easy.
thanks to the officials, whether it's in Suffolk, Nassau, Northern, Western, we appreciate everything you guys do because we couldn't do it without you.
Sure.
And we appreciate everybody who's tuning in. You know,
Exactly.
that are part of this sport and part of what we love to do because without you guys we couldn't do it either. And without you guys out on the track we couldn't have anything to talk about.
That's it.
So we appreciate everything that you guys have done and
Hopefully we get some good weather this year. Get
Yep.
some people in the stands. I mean, nothing better than supporting your hosts as well.
that's it.
All right. So we'll see you out there. We'll be at Lindenhurst. And can't wait to see us out there. And as always, New York, stay classy.